Hi YouTube. If I get interrupted, I'll just excuse myself for a minute and then come back to you. So, um I hope you're doing well today. I'm doing pretty good. Um I don't know. I just had a on my mind was freeing up time within your walk with Christ, in your daily walk. Like if you're around a really talkative person and that's not a bad thing entirely, but there's times where or if you have people that if you socialize a lot or to remember to take time for yourself. And I have to personally watch the type of people I am around because they're like time thieves like that. I mean, not as far as what a watch is saying, but as far as my moment to moment walk with Christ, that they would take that moment and they know they're taking it too, when they do that. So, and it is, I've repeated this before, but Satan's biggest trick in the world is to pretend he doesn't exist. That's his biggest trick because everybody's making a jokey joke thing out of like what Halloween is and that type of thing. And I don't see anything funny or humorous in it whatsoever. Um, like, for instance, when we do bad things in life, we know that that is not the Holy Spirit within us. And that is the self indication that there's another force of darkness in this world and not to attach ourselves to that darkness. So like say for instance if somebody's talking to me and I'm like I have to have some time, quiet time, um and they don't give that for to me. It used to be that I would get angry in return and they would get that energy and gather it. Now I no matter, and I'll go through a gazillion getting insulted, and just sit there and it's like one right after another, just brush it off, brush it off, brush it off. It's like scrolling through Facebook or whatever. That's what it feels like now. Usually there are some days that are worse than others, but I was going to say worse than ever. Yeah, that too, you know. But so anyway, Doug's cat is doing a little better. He gave him a bath last night, and that was the first time he had. I think he might have gave one other animal a bath in his life, but I don't think so. Maybe his daughter, um, 40 years ago or something. But so that was exciting for him. A cat, nonetheless. That's funny. Yeah. It's worse, like a dog will shake more than a cat, but a horse is even worse than that. Get them all soapy, And my one spade, she'd just wait until all her fur, her whole coat was just soaked. And she'd look at me this sideways look, and I thought, oh, here it comes. And sure enough, and you could just see the hair move on it as it flung off there. Then she'd kind of laugh at me. But she did enjoy her baths. But Dusty, not so much. I'd get her all brushed out and groomed up, and that's why they called her Dusty because that was her personality, to roll around and yeah. So yeah, get them all groomed and like people that show their horses, get them all groomed up. And I used to be a groomer too, and so And then they go to show them, and right before the show, they get all messy. That's what Dusty would be. Uh, that's why I put up a picture of her with mud on her, because it was a spring day and it was the first day she was able to. I did two things. I made her a bonfire, which she loved wood smoke. Um, she was a smoker and wood smoker. But anyway, so yeah, I did that, but she was able to roll over on her back and itch her back on the grass without any snow, but there was a little bit of mud, so I just left it on her because that's natural for to keep the bugs off, and so is the mud. So it's like, yeah, you can, and I did brush it out of her, but she was a real tender coated horse too, and thoroughbreds have a tendency not to be as tough hided as maybe the quarter horse, and she had part of that in her too, but she had some pretty tender spots, so I actually would use I don't know if you know what them Teflon 3M scrubbies are, but they're like the scrubbies for the sink, only I'd get the big either green, or you could get them in kind of rust colored brown, and you can cut them in half and use them like for car detailing or in your home or whatever. But it's a 3M product, like them scrubby, spongy things, but without the sponge. So I just use a square of that on her, and I'd use like her curry comb and her brush too. But her favorite thing is if I just took that, and that was enough to get the loose hair out of there. And so, yeah, that worked really well on her legs because they were rather bony, you know, thoroughbred, long legged and bony. And so, yeah. And under her tummy where the gnats would get, um, she liked it on her, the front of her and her withers. And so, yeah, little tender spots and around her behind and stuff in privates. I'd use that, and a lot of people use a brush or the curry comb. It's like, yeah, I don't think I'd want that if I was her. So, and when I started using that, she just loved it. So it's like, yeah, that's worked good. If anybody has horses, there's a tip. If you have gotten the first coat out for the winter or the fall, whichever. Um, and then the in betweens, just wiping them with a 3M. Um, I forget what the scratch pad, I think, or scratch something 3M scrubbies, or not sure what they called them things. I think scrubbies. Wonder if I have one. I used to have one. I think I took all of her stuff and got rid of it because I didn't need it. That's what I have to do with my dog stuff too. And being that she was sick before she died, I don't want to give it away or anything. It's like, otherwise I would, but I'm same with that. Outside cat came running in yesterday, and every day she tries to see if there's any treats where Bobby would eat on the floor, but I put his food back up on the table where Doug used to have them, and I just picked her up and put her out and told her not right now, because with Bobby being sick and we really don't know what it is, um, we're kind of even debating what um, he was diagnosed with. So, but we'll just have to see. Time will tell, you know. So, yeah, so I picked her up and put her out and told her not today, you know. Explained to her why, and she's really smart. And I said, and you just stay there, I'll get you something. So I had cooked some hamburger and I made Bobby one of his own, but after his bath, he was too tired to eat or drink the milk I put out for him. So I took that stuff and put it out for her and her kids and gave Bobby some fresh food out of a can. So chicken and beef. He was in a chicken mood more, but maybe a lot of animals have been too, or they just love it because it seems like it's hard to find around our area. So especially something with gravy in it. Cats love like that chicken gravy stuff, and must have been too expensive, we think, or we don't know why, but they had used to make this mix. It was a little more expensive, but it was for indoor cats, and it had like greens in it and stuff. And I used to get that for my cat, and she'd have her crunchies, but they don't make it anymore. We can't find it, so they really love that. So we get them like country stew, and it's got like carrots and peas and different things in there. So I'm trying to make it so my eyes aren't so dark so you can see me, but my lighting's kind of, well, it's the same I always use, but yeah, either way. That I think that was a little better. Nah, they're still dark. I got dark eyes, gee. But I expect them to turn like gold or something. But yeah. Oh, it's like Satan. Just because you say you're gold, dude, doesn't mean you are. You know, nice try. I'll have to use this on Doug because I heard Robin say, like if you're talking to your spouse, um like, not now, Satan, I'll talk to you after, or after my husband comes back, I'll talk to you. you know so that would be funny. I'm probably going to use that one for sure. I've just been waiting. And whenever something like that happens, it's like, you know, um it's sort of, it's a God-given thing, the circumstance, everything, like a teaching tool, or uh almost like a gift. you know so if you can't make um a Satanist nice, at least you can make yourself laugh while they're torturing you. you know that's about it too, really. I'm gonna light a cigarette, excuse me. Yeah. Doug's out around the back of his shop. He's got a great big giant toad, he said, as big as a hand, and another one that went in the shop, and he was going to bring it out some water, and I explained to him how toads eat and everything and whatever. So, but I told him he should name them Digger and Doug. So, haha. Toads. Yeah. I almost got really funny there for a minute, but it wouldn't have been nice. So biting my tongue. No, I don't always, and I don't even always try to. I just feel like being nice. That's really usually how I am. I really usually wake up every day very optimistic for a new day, you know? Oh, yeah, I feel good. I heard this little girl, 9 years old, and she was belting out, I feel good, it's a new day, it's a new way, or whatever, and I feel good. And she's just like, blew it out of the park. That's on my, she's got a yellow dress on, a little black girl, 9 years old. Um, Amazing. I know people say the word amazing is used too much, but there's just sometimes you hear somebody sing or do see somebody do something, and it is amazing. like there was this little boy, I didn't share it because I know there's not many people on my Facebook page that would care or even put a like for things like that because they didn't seem to. But there was this little boy. He was on a hardwood floor and he had shorts on, barefoot. And I wondered, okay, what's happening? And he started spinning. And the next thing you know, he went with his leg out and then put his leg like that with his arms up and did a complete, and he, this little sucker spinning, 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 sticks his leg out again and comes to like a graceful ballet um, pirouette is what it's called. And I'm like, dude, blew it out of the park. And this little shit was also like about 9 years old. So that's what I'm talking like amazing, you know. It's like, let's see you do that, you know. So yeah, that's amazing. So that was kind of directed at Lionel Nation because he'll say, and everybody says amazing. Well, if it is, I think a person could say it. You know, if it isn't, or if I see like a YouTube video that's amazing, I might put something like that, or you know, some kind of factual something, you know, or even the way God makes us. Isn't that amazing? Just that alone. You know Satan didn't do it. You know that thing, that icky thing inside trying to control the whole situation did not make anything beautiful. That no. Uh-uh. It's more like black goo and ish tar. Which reminds me, that brings me to like the explanation of the four winds being one good female, one bad one good male, one bad one. Um, where there, it wasn't, okay, here goes. It wasn't the mother of mankind and the father of mankind that got kicked out of the garden. This is the story of the satanic story, the fall of Lucifer. And so when they say that they're forefathers or parents of, yes, their children, that's the real part, you know. Um, and Eve was not her name. And Isis and Ishtar, just how it sounds, like Easter, but Ishtar. That brings to me to mind, isn't it weird that the female, that mindset, the satanic, that's the Lucifer, the most Masons just adore, and so do a lot of the Eastern Star, and that's who they praise, is the female energy from Ishtar or Isis is not the same as Eve, the mother of creation, a whole different animal. You know, uh, they're not spiritless, but they are soulless. Um, so, really, people are here just to learn the difference of personalities, of what's acceptable in a place of peace and what would not be. And we each do learn it on our own level, but this is a great awakening. So sneakily and suspiciously, I've always felt that I knew we were in the time of revelation. And I think collectively as people, we're making that happen for the so-called Masonic rule. And there's another word, sonic, um, speed of sound, um, yeah, hedgehog, um, how they're trying to manipulate us with everything from every angle, you know. Uh, let me see where I was going with that train of thought. Well, you know what I'm saying. Um, the words, you know. Um, which and then I started thinking harmonics and pentonics. You know those pentonics, some singers that just use their voices for the whole band. Those people bug me. There's something dark, a dark feeling I get. Like certain music, you'll just get this dark feeling. I mean, some of it is good music or something, or the lyrics, and you can deal with it. But there's something about, even if they're singing like they do a Alleluia, um, which can be spelled H-A or A-U, beginning with. Um, and it is different meanings on that too. One's Hail Satan with the H, and the other one with the A is towards the Almighty God, the one true Creator. And it is, Satan wrote himself in the scriptures as God of this world. No, he's not. To prove that the King, God's representation in the flesh, the Father Himself, through Christ, is going to show him who actually is God of this world and who made it and what creation is. Because that's something that even Satan himself, he doesn't know everything. And I know he doesn't, and he knows he doesn't. So, when you run into people that are spiritually badgering you, the Father will give you facts to battle these demons, things that they can't know, they couldn't possibly know because it's not in them. Um, he doesn't give them that information and that insight. They're trying to get that from you. They're trying to learn all they can learn about being human from you because they can't do that. They aren't that. They can only pretend. So, and it's the truth. There's two different kinds of people. There's not three, four, nothing else. These ones who say if they're in between, there's no in between. He's either, it's like our neighbor said he's going to try to keep his dog home. Well, it's like having a cheating spouse tell you, I will try to keep my pants on. Try? I hate that word. You don't try, you just do it. You know? That's just the way it is. I could see if the animal got loose like one time, but a human being, no, I don't like loose human beings. Sorry, even with their mind, you know, that's to me intolerable. I don't do it. I can't. Nope. I can like a person as a friend, but I'd want them to stay way over there, you know. So, and even if a person's not thinking right, it's like you just stay way over there. I might try and help them. I might say something. I might even have a weird way of saying it, but I'm directed by my Father on what to say and how to say it. This is His Spirit that's in me. And I know, I know it's right. I mean, I have no doubt. And the only people that would actually doubt that, be, if they knew me, would be my opposition, my enemies and my foes, family, friends. I'm their friend, but they may not be mine, or they're a friend of my spouse, estranged, very estranged. And these are decisions people make around me that then they're going to have to deal with the consequences. Whatever they bring out of me is what they're going to get. I just can't stress that enough. These are the times we are in. I'm not appeasing people that act like babies that are actually demons. I will not, I won't tolerate that. If I saw somebody say, like if I saw a husband and wife out and the wife said something stupid that was hurtful in front of her husband, I'd probably say something, you know, like, yeah, I heard that, you know, or something that's, you know, or vice versa. If it was a man that said something cruddy, and I do these things, don't keep quiet. You know, I can't. I'm not supposed to. I was a very quiet kid, very, but that changed. I mean, I was forced to go into modeling. I was forced to, well, not forced to sing in a choir. That I did on my own. Um, there's some things that I was just forced out in a big public spot, and it's like yikes, you know. But I learned to deal with it. But I still kind of get the yikes thing, but not as bad. But I used to. I had some years where I didn't even want to leave my home. I was so sick of people and so sick at heart because I knew every second and everywhere I went, I would see something that I just could not handle or I didn't want to handle it, you know. But now my way of handling it is speaking about it. That brings me to my favorite subject to preach on. Put some damn clothes on, people. This whole world looks like their bodies are for sale. That's, you know, it's just, it's disgusting. I really seriously see it as so putrid. And then I have to ask you, if you wear a low cut shirt and you're around your father or your mother or your children, or what do you want them to think? What are you expressing with skin exposure of what is considered part of your sexuality? That's what I want to know, especially women. I'm talking to you. I want to know. Or if you see um daughters like that around their fathers, or you could dress like that around your fathers, please tell me what you're thinking. Please tell me what you want your parent to think. Um, what do you want the world to think? I mean, most parents wouldn't think scuzzy, but chances are displaying yourself like that is not by any means a good thing. I just want to know, how could a mother dress like that in front of her son? If you have your stuff hanging out, all pushed up, hanging out like that, how could you look your son in the eye and carry on a conversation as a mother? I'm asking. I want to know what's in your mind. You know, I just want to know if you really think it's appropriate and you don't see a problem with it, or somebody else's child, like you're walking out in public and you're all cracked. Oh, you cracked me up. How can you mindlessly do that if you do? Or you see people that do, don't you wonder? Aren't you wondering, like I am right now? How can a daughter stand before her dad with all her shit hanging out? How can a mom stand before her son, or or uh, daughter to the parents, or son to the, you know what I mean? Or brothers and sisters, how can you like dress around each other like that and think nothing of it? I want to know. No. Stop it. Put some clothes on. Stop selling yourself short. You know, Satan loves y'all for that shit. Can't you just wait till you get home? You know, and rip it all off and jump in the sack. Do whatever you want, you know? Doesn't that make it a little more private? I would think so. I don't know. It's just the way it is. That's real life, you know? And we aren't protecting the children by not saying anything. And yeah, it is a very big deal. And I'm sure you'll hear more videos in the future on that topic. It's not like beating a dead horse, it's like rounding up the bad horses and separating, culling them out, the lame ones from the strong ones, and making sure the strong ones don't get sick from the lame ones and sending them off to the meat factory. So, there, I just said it. That's what that's like. That's what I feel like when I go out. And I used to really get depressed about it, but I don't anymore. I just deal with it, you know. Yeah, I'll look at another woman like, you. Oh, yeah, I will. Whatever. Do it back at me. I don't care. I can do it better because I mean it. And I know I have God behind me. He's the one that made me. You can say He's the one that made you too. But if you're dressing like that, He's not the one dressing you. We know who's dressing your ass. You know, think about it. Or if you know people that should be thinking about that, tell them. Find some words and say something. It's just the way it is, really. They got little boys and they're dressing around them like that. Or girls, you know. What do you want them to know? Do you want them to know that's how they were fed or whatever when they were little? Does the whole world need to know your cup size? For real, please. you know. You know. So, hey, tell me what you think of what I've been talking about. I'd be interested to hear your opinion. I know there's some people that have YouTube channels, and after I talk, and they'll say something, or they'll say something, and um, I might be able to talk about, add something or go off of what they're saying. And I believe it's all God guided, all that spirit, pre planned. Just like Satan was planning his for millions and millions, well, God is way ahead of that game. First, he planned the plan. Then the infiltrator tried to replan the plan, but found out that God's plan was planted. So, well, thank you for joining me. I'm going to leave you on that note. Just tell the whole world, just put some clothes on, have some dignity. I know you've heard it before, like you heard these little old grandmas, sort of like me, saying, put some clothes on, least you catch your death. Peace.